بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إخواني وأخواتي في الله. By Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala's permission, today is the 16th? 16th of April 2019. And once again, walillah alhamd wa shukr, we are gathered together in Croydon ICT Masjid to continue our series of lectures on al-isti'dadu li shahri Ramadan al-Mubarak, preparation for the blessed month of Ramadan. And I believe this is about our third lesson, if I'm not mistaken. And all of these lessons, including the one today, has all been about al-fada'il, or the virtues of the blessed month of Ramadan. And I've mentioned before that in order for us to make the most of an act of worship, whatever the act of worship is, we must know the virtues of the act of worship. Once we know the fada'il, the word fada'il means virtues. Once we know the virtues of that particular act of worship, it will increase the raghbah, the desire inside the Muslim in order to make the most of that particular month. Make sense, ikhwan? Once we know the virtues of a particular action, it will increase, or it should increase, the Muslim in desire to carry out that act of worship. على سبيل المثال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في حديث صحيح ركعة الفجر خير من الدنيا وما فيها أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أليس كذلك? The 2 units of prayer قبل صلاة الفجر, before the Fajr Salah, is better than all of the dunya and what's inside it. أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So this particular hadith is an encouragement for the Muslim to carry out this tremendous act of worship before the Farad Salah. Knowing the virtues of an action will increase the Muslim, or encourage the Muslim, or increase him in his desire to carry out that particular action. And as the brother said, Abu Sumayya mentioned just after the Salah, Shahru Ramadan is literally on our heels, maybe 3 weeks and some change away. So this is the perfect time for us as Muslims, and nasta'id li hada al-shahr al-mubarak, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. As-siyamu, as we've covered before, is to prevent oneself from at-ta'am, from food, or to abstain from at-ta'am, food, wa-sharab, drink, wa-shahwa, and all forms of desires. Lillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala fi nahari daqiqa wahida. Don't forget your question, akhi. You want a piece of paper to write it down? You sure? You're not going to forget it? Fi nahari Ramadan, during the day of Ramadan. ولكن إخواني وأخواتي في الله هناك صيام آخر نحن مطالبون به. There's another type of siyam that we are also as Muslims required to carry out. Na'am, in the month of Ramadan, we're required to abstain from food and drink and desires from طلوع الفجر إلى ماذا؟ غروب الشمس. Ghurub al-Shams. That's the time where we're required to stay away from food, drink, and desires. We're requested to stay away from all of the muharramat, whether we're inside or outside the Ramadan. But during the month of Ramadan, during those two time frames, Tulu' al-Fajr, when the time for dawn comes in, ila ghurub al-Shams, until the sun sets, we have to stay away from these things which are usually halal for the Muslim. ولكن هناك صيام آخر. However, there's another type of siyam, fasting, that the Muslim is required to do. And this type of fasting, إخواني وأخواتي في الله, ليس في النهار دون الليل وليس في الليل دون النهار. This type of fasting isn't only in the daytime and not at nighttime, like it is the case for Ramadan, right? And this type of fasting that I'm speaking about isn't only at nighttime and not during the day. وهذا الصيام ليس في شهر مخصوص. This type of siyam that I'm speaking about isn't a type of siyam which is in a particular month, like the month of... Too loud? Is better? This type of fasting that I'm speaking about isn't in a shahr makhsus, يعني a particular type of month, as is the case of the month of Ramadan. بل هذا الصيام في العمر كله. This type of siyam that I'm speaking about al-an is in the lifetime of the Muslim. وهو الصيام عن المحرمات. And it is to fast from all types of things which are displeasing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, wal atham, and all types of sins. All types of sins. And this connects with the linguistic meaning of the word as-siyam, as we've covered in many classes prior. The meaning as-siyam linguistically means al-imsak. Al-imsak means to refrain from. Okay, guys? So anytime anybody refrains from something, الشخص هو هذا الشخص هو الصائم. This person is referred to as being صائم. Does that make sense, إخواني? Any questions? So let me get your question before we move on to the next section. You forgot it? Okay, تفضل.
What do you mean when you say all desires?
Excellent question. The question is, what do I mean when I say to fast from food, drink, and all of desires? Desires here means specifically sexual desires. Because sexual relations, Akhi Muhammad, between a man and a woman, right, is usually halal. أليس كذلك يا أخي محمد? Relations between a man and a woman are usually halal during the day. But in the blessed, is this recording, Akhi? In the blessed month of Ramadan, during those two times that I mentioned, Tulu' al-Fajr ila ghurub al-Shams, this act is forbidden. Only during this time. Make sense? But when we speak about desires, akhi, ash-shahwa in Arabic, is such a broad term. I've reduced it to sexual relations. But your desires is anything that your nafs, your soul, tells you to do, which is either in conformity with what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and His Messenger is happy with and pleased with, or perhaps it's contrary to that, yani it's opposite to that. It's contrary to what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala likes and loves. So a person's desires, or a person following their desire, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a bad thing. Somebody's desires, if Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has blessed this individual with guidance, his desires could be in accordance with what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala loves and is pleased with, sah? And this is a blessing from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The one that is able to align his desires in accordance with what Allah loves, he's on a winning streak. Does that make sense? So desires, what I was speaking about specifically, was sexual relations. But the word ash-shahwa, it can mean more than just sexual relations. Anything that you are inclined to do. فيجب أن نعلم يا أيها الإخوة والأخوات أن هناك صيام كتبه الله تبارك وتعالى في حياتنا كلها، وهو الصيام عن الحرام. والشهر رمضان يعد, the blessed month of Ramadan, يعد رياضة. What does the word رياضة mean, ya Sheikh Mustafa?
Exercise.
It's an opportunity to exercise or train. The month of Ramadan, and this is what some of the ulama they mention, the month of Ramadan is a riyada for what? It's an opportunity, or it's considered as a training ground, if you like, or an exercise ground for what? For you to graduate from this training ground In what situation, in what case? Being able to control your desires from that which Allah Ta'ala is displeased with. Does that make sense, ikhwani? Some of the ulama, they refer to Shahr Ramadan as a madrasa. A madrasa. You can say school, or you can say a training ground. Because in this month, na'am, as I mentioned before, Akhi Muhammad, in the month of Ramadan, we try extra hard to stay away from the muharramat, sah? We try extra hard. But at the end of the day, the same one that يأمرنا بطاعته في رمضان هو الذي يأمرنا بطاعته في ماذا يا إخوان؟ ممتاز في أيام أخر. The same one that orders us with obedience inside the month of Ramadan is the same one that orders us with obedience outside the month of Ramadan. So some of the ulama, they mentioned that شهر رمضان مدرسة. It's a training ground. It's an opportunity for us as Muslims to try and train ourselves on abstaining from that which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is displeased with and dislikes. فيجب أن نعلم يا أيها الإخوة والأخوات أن على سمعك صيام وعلى بصرك صيام وعلى لسانك. أنا أسألك السؤال بعد قليل. فيجب أن نعلم يا أيها الإخوة والأخوات, يجب أن نعلم, we must know and understand, أن على سمعك صيام وعلى بصرك صيام وعلى لسانك صيام وعلى يدك صيام وعلى رجلك أكملوا صيام. هكذا. ماذا أعني بذلك الكلام إخواني وأخواتي في الله؟ ماذا أعني أن على سمعك الصيام وعلى بصرك الصيام وعلى لسانك ويدك ورجلك الصيام؟ ماذا أعني؟ الأول على سمعك الصيام. صيام من ماذا أخي؟
تصوم حاجات الوحشة مثلا تصوم يعني أذنك يعني حاجات اللي مو كويس حالة الحرام بالكلام.
ممتاز. شيخ سمعت ماذا قال الشيخ؟ You heard what the Sheikh said? You heard but you didn't understand. هناك فرق بين يعني السمع والفهم. صح؟ طيب, the Sheikh said here, when I spoke about your ears fasting, how can your ears fast? Your ears fast by abstaining, refraining from anything that is not good. Any type of kalam, ghiba, al-namima, al-musiqa, صح? All of this type of stuff, and music in Arabic they say al-musiqa, صح? بالعربية الموسيقى موسيقى طيب yeah for sure. So that's how your ears fast. How do your eyes fast? Your eyes fast from not looking at that which Allah Ta'ala has made haram for you. How does your tongue fast? Your tongue fasts by not backbiting, by not talking ill of people. How does your hand fast? Your hand fast by not oppressing people and dealing with people unjustly. And how does your rajul, your legs fast? Your legs fast from walking to that which will lead you to haram. So the siyam, ikhwani, once again, that I'm referring to here is the siyam that we are requested to do during our whole life. وَهُوَ صِيَامٌ دَائِمٌ وَهُوَ صِيَامٌ دَائِمٌ. It's a continuous fast for the rest of your life. It's a continuous fast for the rest of your life. Okay, ikhwan? Naam, tafaddal.
Can you fast against like controlling your anger and like through words?
Mumtaz, akhi. Anytime, I'm not too sure if you, is this your first time coming to this lesson? Mumtaz. Usually when we, anytime we deal with any topic, siyam, salah, hajj, any topic, what the scholars usually do, and I try them to the best of my ability to implement this, is we look at the word in the linguistic meaning, and we look at the word in what we call the shar'i meaning, or istilaha. Sometimes there is a connection between the linguistic meaning, i.e. how the word is used in the language, and sometimes there's a link between the shar'i meaning. For example, as-siyam. Siyam, linguistically in the language, means to abstain from. So if somebody controls his anger and abstains from or refrains from getting angry, Psalm, huwa Psalm. If somebody, for example, as we said, refrains from doing something or walking towards haram or looking at something haram, that person is sa'imun. What type of Sawm is this? This is the linguistic meaning of Sawm. But as it relates to the Shar'i meaning, the meaning in the religion, it's to refrain, bila shak. However, it's to refrain with the intention, yani Sawm biniyatin, that you stay away from, with the intention that you stay away from anything that breaks the fast, not just eating and drinking. Anything that breaks the fast from that which Allah Ta'ala has outlined in the Kitab and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has outlined in the Sunnah. Also, I mentioned definitely in our previous lesson, but the month of Ramadan, just like Allah Ta'ala mentioned in His Kitab, is an opportunity, a training ground, a madrasa. Once again, it's a madrasa for what? تحقيق التقوى. تحقيق التقوى. It's an opportunity, a training ground for us as Muslims to increase in التقوى. ما هو الدليل؟ ما هو الدليل على ذلك؟ بالعربية لازم
تزيد إيمانك يعني.
أيوة، لكن إيش الدليل على أن رمضان فرصة لتحقيق التقوى؟
آية في سورة البقرة.
نعم، ممتاز. وما هي؟
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
هذا هو الشاهد. لعلكم ماذا؟ تتقون. الآية بينة واضحة جدا. Anybody can read the ayah and understand what it means. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who have faith. كتب عليكم الصيام. Fasting has been prescribed upon you كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم, just like it was prescribed on those that came before you. لماذا؟ لعلكم تتقون من التقوى. And I defined taqwa as being أن تجعل وقاية بينك وبين معاصيك. That you place a barrier or you place you know what the word turs means. ما معنى turs يا شيخ?
Like shield.
Exactly. You know what a soldier has in a battle? He has a sword and a shield, right? A turus is a shield. So taqwa is to place a turus or a wiqaya, a barrier, some form of protection against you and your sins. However, there was a tabi'i by the name of Talq ibn Habib rahimahullah ta'ala. He defined taqwa in a different way, and I feel compelled to share this definition with you guys today. Is it a contradiction to the definition I gave you a little while ago? أن تجعل وقاية أو ترسا بينك وبين معاصيك. لا والله. But sometimes you find in a religion that some of the Salaf, they would give a tafsir or an explanation or a definition of a word, and it's just different wordings, but they mean exactly the same thing. Does that make sense? So you might have اختلاف الألفاظ. اختلاف الألفاظ. يعني different wordings. لكن there's unity in the meaning. So if I say to you, for example, what's your name, أخي? Samir. Sami.
Yeah.
Sami. Where are you from, أخي?
Egypt.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. تتكلم باللغة العربية؟
Little bit.
Yeah, okay, ما شاء الله. جيد. If I said to you, Sami, that a taqwa is to place a barrier between you and your sins. Alright? To place a barrier between you and your sins. Anything that you feel you're going to it's going to cause you to commit a sin, you put a barrier there. هذا هو التقوى. And then I said to you that another definition of taqwa is عمل بطاعة الله, is to act in accordance to the obedience of Allah تبارك وتعالى. على نور من الله, upon light and guidance from Allah تبارك وتعالى. رجاء ثواب الله, in hope that you gain the reward of Allah تبارك وتعالى. وترك معصية الله, and it's also to leave off the sins that will cause you to disobey Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. على نور من الله تبارك وتعالى, upon light from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. خيفة عذاب الله, out of fear of the punishment of Allah. It's a bit more comprehensive, a bit more wordy, but is there a contradiction between the first definition and the second definition? No. One is to place a barrier between you and your sins, and the other one is to do that which Allah Ta'ala likes upon light from Him, hoping for His reward, and thus staying away from that which Allah Ta'ala is displeased with upon light from Him, out of fear of His punishment. There's no difference of opinion. The اختلاف الألفاظ, different wording, لكن there's اجتهاد in المعنى. There's unification in the meaning. And I just wanted to share that slight brief introduction with you guys, so we can prepare that as-siyam isn't, number one, only to abstain from food and drink and desires. It's deeper than that. And there's a maqsood from fasting. There's many intentions from fasting, but one of the maqsood is that we can gain closer connection by gaining taqwa of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Tafaddal ya Aba Sumayya.
معنى مقصود
Maqsood, yani the intended meaning, the qasd, what somebody intends. مثلا أخي, let's say you said something to me. I say, ماذا تقصد? What do you intend? فالمقصود, the intended meaning, if you like. طيب بارك الله فيكم. Okay, إخواني, what my plan is, if we got 3 weeks left until Ramadan, we've got about 4 lessons left, right?
after this
Only 2. Okay, there's a possibility, Ikhwan, that after this lesson today, there's going to be 2 more lessons in our series of Al-Isti'dadu li Shahri Ramadan, yani preparation for Ramadan, because once Ramadan comes, we're going to be inside the month. So I'm going to today continue speaking about the fada'il of Ramadan, and I'm reading from the book Majalisu Shahri Ramadan by Shaykh Al-Allama Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymin rahimahullah ta'ala. I'm not reading the whole book, I'm just taking what I deem to be, pertinent to mention in these classes. And then if we do have 2 more lessons left after this, we're going to start going into Ahkam al-Ramadan, alright? The rulings of Ramadan. And I've mentioned this before. Somebody wakes up in their junub. They wake up in a state of janaba. They're late for salah. They miss the fajr, but they're junub. They wake up. Do they continue to fast? Or because they're junub, he had a wet dream, or perhaps he had sexual intercourse with his wife the night before when it was halal for him to do so, but then when he woke up he was in a state of janaba. على كل حال he's junub. What does he do? لا نتكلم في هذا الموضوع in the next 2 classes. We're going to speak about everything connected to al-ahkam. And then inshallah ta'ala, what I will do for the last lesson, I'm just going to leave it for commonly asked questions relating to the month of Ramadan. Because you find, whether it be Hajj or whether it be Ramadan, every single year we have similar questions that arise. So inshallah, I'll leave the very last lesson, whenever that's going to be, for that lesson, inshallah ta'ala. Now, before we start the lesson today, are there any questions? Su'al?
related to the ahkam, one of the ahkam.
Okay.
Shall I leave it till later?
I mean, unless you really want to ask, it's up to you.
It's just about the pregnant woman. The woman who's breastfeeding.
Uh-huh.
With the child's like a newborn, and it's relying on the breast milk,
Yeah.
and she doesn't fast due to this reason. Is it upon her now to make up the fast after Ramadan, or to do video?
Mumtaz, fantastic question. I'll repeat the question, then I'll give you the answer bil ikhtisar. The question is regarding the pregnant woman, right? The woman that's pregnant, or she just had a baby, either, right? Either, but the baby is either in need of the milk, because if you don't eat, a woman may dry up. The milk might stop being produced. It's in the eating of the food that she's able to produce milk. So either she fears for the baby's life if she's pregnant, if she fasts, and she won't be able to sustain the baby and herself. Or if the baby's alive, the baby will she will find it too difficult to fast and feed at the same time. What is upon her? Does she make up the fast? Or hal alayha fidyatun? Is it upon her to have some type of ransom, i.e. to feed the poor or whatnot? Now this is a mas'ala ikhtilafiyya bayn al-ulama. This particular issue that the brother asked about is there's a difference of opinion amongst the ulama, and the difference of opinion is tawil. You with me? I wouldn't be able to give it justice right now, especially due to time constraints and what we have to cover now. But what I will say just now, definitely we're going to cover it in the when we start dealing with the ahkam of Ramadan. But secondly, just to know that there's ikhtilaf between the scholars. There are those scholars that say there's nothing upon her and she is to just feed the poor for every day she missed. But then there's other ulama that say that she is to make up and feed the poor. It's complex to say the least. At the end of the day, a woman who's in that situation, she, to the best of her ability, she looks into both proofs and evidences by both reputable scholars, and she chooses the one that she feels is more closest to the truth. Because at the end of the day, to a point, we're all muqallidun, right? If I follow a hadith and you follow a hadith, none of us have got the tools, the ability to look into each person in the narration of that hadith to find out. We're going to take somebody else's word, this hadith sahih, or this hadith hasan, or this hadith is stronger. We're going to take somebody's word. So as long as somebody is sincere in looking for the truth, they choose that answer which is more likely to be the correct according to that particular person. طيب نكمل إن شاء الله تبارك وتعالى. قال الشيخ محمد بن صالح العثيمين رحمه الله تعالى من فضائل الصوم أن ثوابه لا يتقيد بعدد معين بل يعطى الصائم أجره بغير حساب. الله أكبر. The Sheikh says that from the virtues of fasting, إخواني وأخواتي في الله, is that the reward for doing so is not restricted to a particular number. We know that doing a good deed in Al-Islam can be multiplied from 10 times up to 700 times. أليس كذلك إخوان؟ من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به ماذا؟ حسنة. من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها. Whomsoever reads a single harf from the kitab of Allah, then for that person, for every letter he reads in the Arabic language, ليس بالإنجليزية أو الفرنسية أو سواهيلية أو جامايكية أو Somalia. That concession isn't for reading the Quran in any other language. نعم فيه ثواب. لكن as it relates to what the Prophet ﷺ said, من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة. This is for the Arabic language. Then the Prophet ﷺ went on to explain والحسنة بعشر أمثالها. And every single hasana can be multiplied up to ماذا؟ 10 times. بعشر أمثالها. لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. I don't say to you that alif lam mim is one letter. لكن alif is a letter and mim is a letter and alif is a letter and lam is a letter and mim is a letter. طيب. We know that it can be multiplied up to 10 times. Also we've got the hadith Qudsi which mentions up to 700 times. لكن إخواني وأخواتي في الله, as it relates to Psalm, it is not restricted to either 10 or 700. لا يتقيد بعدد. It's not restricted to a particular number. What's my dalil for that, إخواني وأخواتي في الله? We've covered this before. هذا ليس what did I say? This is not new information. This is not new information. Hadith Qudsi.
Every deed one Adam does is for themselves.
Allahu Akbar.
Often the fasting which is for me and I reward for it.
لا تقل أيوة نعم.
It's for
أيوة إيه.
It's for Allah. He rewards according to.
أحسنت. سمعت كلامه؟ ماذا قال؟ لحظة. لست بشيخ في شيء. أنا لست بشيخ. إخواني, do not think just because this microphone's in front of me that I'm a sheikh. I'm not, and I'm not even saying that to be humble. I'm not saying that to be humble. The shuyukh are the shuyukh. Ismail is Ismail.
Sorry, I'll let the mufti.
اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحها. عليك الحسنة أخي. عليك حسنة أخي. الله المستعان. But being serious though, إخواني, I'm just a person that Allah تبارك وتعالى allowed to go abroad and study. That's it. لا فرق بينني وبينكم في شيء. شيخ موسى, ماذا قال الشيخ أبو سمية؟ نعم.
I was trying to explain the hadith al-Qudus.
What was he using the hadith Qudsi as a dalil for?
The dalil.
He mentioned the hadith Qudsi, right?
To show that the rewards for Sawm, Allah says that it's open. He has not put a limit on how much is rewarding or 700 times. No.
جزاك الله خيرا. ماذا قال الشيخ موسى يا شيخ مصطفى؟
Psalm is between him and Allah.
Between the fasting person and Allah.
Yeah.
Jade?
And there is no point.
Point? La.
Attention and
No
words.
limit.
Limit.
There's no
Yeah,
limit to the
limit
rewards.
to the rewards, yeah.
And this is important, ikhwani. There's no limit. لا يتقيد. It's not restricted. What's the proof? The proof is a hadith قدسي. قال عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الله تعالى حديث قدسي قال الله تعالى كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. Allah تبارك وتعالى said, وليس في القرآن hadith. He says that all of the actions of the son of Adam are for him. إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. Every single action that the son of Adam does is for him except for Psalm. Indeed, Psalm is for me. وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. Allahu Akbar. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He connected the fast to Himself. He said, فَإِنَّهُ لِي. Indeed, it's for me. وَأَنَا أَجْزِي. And Allah rewards for all deeds. But He specifically said, وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. Why? What's so important or what's so unique about Psalm that is not necessarily unique on all of the other acts of worship that we do لله تبارك وتعالى؟ هذا السؤال لك أنت يا طالب. أين أخوك؟
He's at home.
لماذا لا يأتي؟
He's not feeling too well.
شفاه الله. وأبوك؟ كيف هو؟
Oh, that's what he said.
لا أخوك.
Oh, no. My dad's not feeling too well. My brother's...
شفاه الله.
He's at home.
I just because your dad didn't come, he didn't come.
Yeah.
G. طيب. أجب.
Can you say the question again, please?
Who can remember the question?
Why did Allah said Siyam is for him, especially for him, like?
That Mumtaz, excellent Mustafa. That was part of the question. The rest of the question was, what is so unique about Psalm that maybe isn't unique about other acts of worship in Islam?
It's longer.
MashaAllah. That's a very good answer. That's true. That's true. I don't know any act of worship that's like 19 hours straight, except ta'ah. Ta'ah's for your whole life and obedience.
And you have to do much more things whilst you're fasting. Well, you have to keep off much more things whilst you're fasting.
And you mean you have to stay away from, yeah?
Than other...
Jade, Faisal, or Faisal, whatever one you like. What do you think? What's so unique about Psalm that isn't necessarily unique about the other acts of worship? MashaAllah, you're chilling, akhi. Chilling. No, خليه. Chill, akhi. Chill, akhi. Rest, man. I want you to be comfortable. I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute. What do you think, akhi? Faisal, what's so unique about Psalm?
The devil's gone.
The devil.
Yeah.
Okay, you mean like the shayateen that chained up? Jade, good. I wasn't thinking about that, but that's good. Sami, ما رأيك? What's so unique about Psalm that isn't so perhaps unique about the other acts of worship?
So it's like you said, it's for Allah.
Would you say then in that case our salah and our zakah and our hajj laysa lillah?
It would be for ourselves. Or
I know where you're going because it says kullu amal ibn adam lahu. Jade. Anything else you want to add?
so, because I don't know how to put it, but because
No worries.
Allah would be more greater. You know,
But then somebody might say to you, every single act of worship is for Allah. Sheikh.
Fasting belongs to Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And He gives the ajr also. He will give you ajr for it. Because all the things, this is for Him. The fasting is for Allah. Special for Allah.
Ji.
And He will give you, when you do that, when you fast, He will give you ajr, a lot of ajr.
Mumtaz. Mumtaz.
Is it because when you're fasting, no one can tell if you're fasting or not?
Allah Ta'ala bless you. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. The act of fasting, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, is an act that is closer to al-ikhlas than any other action that we do. Seeking knowledge, making hajj, giving zakat, any other knowledge, any other act of worship. The act of fasting is more closer to being sincere. Why? Because nobody truly knows when a person's fasting. Even if we're inside the month of Ramadan, and I've mentioned this before, I've mentioned this before. Nobody truly fasts. Just because we're inside the month of Ramadan and you're in the masjid with a brother, you don't know when he goes around the corner, does he drink some? You with me? So it's as if a person's in seclusion with him and his Lord, because only Allah knows if he's truly fasting. And ikhwani, let's not limit the ma'na as-siyam to al-imsak an al-mufattirat, yani al-ta'am, al-sharab, wa-shahwa. Everything that Allah Ta'ala told you to stay away from, even more so in the blessed month of Ramadan. That's why Allah Ta'ala...
Sorry, could you say that? Because it's free from minor shirk.
Say it again.
It's free from committing minor shirk.
What's free from committing a song?
Yeah.
When you say that, what do you mean?
So you can't show off.
Jay, from that angle, yeah. Unless a person goes around and tells people, and I saw him, I'm fasting. But yeah, when an action is sincere to Allah, it's not only free from minor shirk, but it's also free from major shirk, min bab al-awla. Alright? Minor shirk is showing off. But definitely, the one that's sincere, the reason why the reward is so great for the fasting person is because nobody truly knows if a person is fasting or not. The hadith goes on to say, as-siyamu junnatun. Ma ma'na as-siyamu junnatun? Junnah. As-siyamu junnatun. Ma ma'na? Is a shield. The Prophet ﷺ, and this is important, think about what a shield does, ikhwan. Sometimes when we're going through ayat or we're going through ahadith, we shouldn't just read it, just mujarrad al-qira'ah, read. Think about, why did the Prophet ﷺ use the word junnah, a shield? What does a shield do, Mustafa?
It protects you
From what?
from salt.
From not only any harm.
Harm.
It protects you from harm. Likewise, as-siyam junnah. Alright, as-siyam junnah, very important. It's a very interesting word that the Prophet ﷺ chose to use. ثم قال فإذا كان يوم صوم أحدكم فلا يرفث ولا يصخب. If it is the day of the fast of any one of you, then he should not engage in sexual relations, nor should he quarrel and raise his voice. فإن سابه أحد أو قاتل فليقل إني صائم. If somebody goes to curse you, especially for you young boys at school, very rarely now us elders, especially if you look like Abu Sumayya, you're not going to get anybody coming down the street and he's not going to yasubbuka. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I brought it back to Allah. I said, MashaAllah. But and your age, Faisal, Talib, maybe Muhammad, you guys are secondary, right? Primary. Secondary. Primary. Primary and secondary, college. College, right? Yeah, you're at the age, ikhwan, where people might start trouble with you. Alright? And are you now going to have that strength that your friends are around you, there might be even a few girls looking as well, and somebody starts on you, are you going to have that strength not to, let your ego be your guide and start cursing him back? Or just say to him, I'm fasting. It's difficult, it's not easy, but no stretch of the imagination. Anyway, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if somebody curses you or tries to fight you, then tell that person, I am fasting. وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي مُحَمَّدٌ بِيَدِي. By the one whose soul that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is in, لَخُلُوفُ فَمِ الصَّائِمِ أَطْيَبُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. It doesn't say تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى, sorry. أَطْيَبُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ رِيحِ الْمِسْكِ. The Prophet alayhi wasallam swore by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that the odor, if you like, the odor that leaves the mouth of the fasting person is more beloved to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala than what, ikhwan? Than misk, the smell of misk. And I mentioned towards right at the end of our last lesson that there are certain things that happen as a result of a Muslim carrying out worship to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that may be disliked to creation, but it's beloved to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So, I gave you the example of Hajj last class. A man goes for Hajj, he's disheveled, he's outside, he might be smelly, sweaty, he don't have any of his comforts, he might be all You know, the mustache is growing into the lips, the hair's messy. If you got hair growing out of your ears, Allah, your Enoch, you know, he just looks a mess. But in that state, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is pleased with him. Why? Because the only reason why he looks like that is Lillahi Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Because if he wasn't carrying out the rites of Hajj, he would have looked after himself. Likewise, if somebody's breath so happens to smell during the month of Ramadan, what's the reason that his breath doesn't smell too fresh? It's because he's fasting. And Allah loves that. As the Prophet ﷺ said, La khulufu fami as-sa'im, the smell or the odor that comes out of the mouth of the fasting person, atyabu. That's the key word here. Atyabu is better. عند الله تعالى عند الله من ريح المسك than the smell of المسك. للصائم فرحتان يفرحهما فيصل هذا السؤال لك أنت. The Prophet ﷺ said, for the fasting person there are two joys, and he becomes pleased with these two joys for the one that's fasting. What do you think the first one is?
Can you repeat the question?
No problem. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال للصائم فرحتان يفرحهما. For the fasting person, there are two joys that he becomes pleased with. What do you think the first one is?
If he prays, carry on praying. Salah.
Good attempt. Let me ask you a question. You're fasting for 19 hours. You're fasting, hungry, you're tired, might be a little bit cranky. What's going to be the thing that makes you the most happiest at that point in your life or that point in time? هذا اللي فيصل. الله أكبر. هكذا قال النبي إذا أفطر فرح بفطره. إذا أفطر فرح بفطره. If he breaks his, when he breaks his fast, he is pleased with the breaking of his fast. What's the second one, أخي? جيد شيخ طالب. يعني نفس السحور is the meal that you make when you're going to, just before you start your fast. But we're speaking about al-iftar, when you break it. And there's another joy, Sheikh Mustafa. What is it?
I swear you said it last time.
Yes.
It was like one of them because he dropped the food in front of him.
هكذا قال فيصل.
Yeah, and the second one is because I think he done a good act of.
Good try, Akhi. Very good try. Very close. I'm going to give that to you, actually. I'm going to give that to you. You tell him?
No, I said to him, think about it. What do you get from fast?
I like that. He said the reward from Allah. The second joy is the reward from Allah. لكن قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وإذا لقي ربه فرح بصومه. He's going to be pleased with his song when he meets his Lord. The first one when he breaks his fast. The second joy that a fasting person gets is when he meets his Lord. Why? Because of the reward that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will give to this fasting person. It's going to be tremendous. You with me, guys? And again, once we start to learn, or sometimes you might have learned this for the first time today, or it might be a reminder, or maybe you already knew it. Nonetheless, this is a reminder which is going to encourage us more to want to fast. Because number one, I can't wait to break it. And number two, why are you laughing for, man? And number two, you know that when you meet your Lord, inshallah ta'ala, Allah ta'ala is going to reward you accordingly. Are there other benefits and maybe joys that a person might experience due to fasting? Sure. There might be other joys. You might be thankful that, you don't have to fast. Some people in poor countries don't have a choice but to fast. We have the choice. There might be other benefits that you might extract, but you learn to appreciate, to be thankful. There's so many benefits. However, these two specifically is what the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in this particular hadith. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, there's another narration. That narration was collected by Imam al-Bukhari. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Lakin Muslim has a different riwayah, different wording in his narration. He says, كل عمل بني آدم له يضاعف الحسنة بعشر أمثالها إلى 700 ضعفا أو ضعف. قال الله تعالى إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به يدعو شهوته وطعامه من أجلي. Slightly different wording, alright? And the meaning of this hadith is all of the deeds or actions of the son of Adam are for him. يضاعف الحسنة بعشر أمثالها. A good deed will be multiplied up to 10 times, or from 10 times إلى 700 ضعف, up to 700 times. Now that was the proof for our deeds being multiplied from 10 to 700 times. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala يقول إلا الصوم فإنه لي, except fasting because it is for me, وأنا أجزي به, and I reward for it. يدعو شهوته وطعامه من أجلي. This part of the hadith, ikhwan, is crucial. يدعو شهوته وطعامه من أجلي. From one angle, one person could say, or one could say, somebody in a poor country, he doesn't have any choice but to fast. ما عنده خيار, he has to fast. He don't have no food, he don't have no money. As it relates for the person that is able to break his fast, and there is nothing preventing him from breaking his fast except the taqwa of Allah Ta'ala, that is serious. La siyama if this person is mukhlis and he's not only fasting in front of the people, but even when nobody's there, you just, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let Allah Ta'ala down. That is serious. To leave off our desires, which Allah Ta'ala made halal, and to leave off food and drink, which Allah Ta'ala made halal, for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Any questions, guys? You guys have been listening attentively today, mashallah. Tfaddal.
I've been fasting, like, the last time you speak, it was there for Tuesday, innit?
Last time I was here?
Yeah.
No, the last time I was here was Friday, but I don't think you were here.
No, it was Tuesday. No, the before it, Tuesday. It was Tuesday, innit?
No, I was here Friday and it was Wednesday.
Monday you were fasting.
Yeah. No, one time you were speaking about fasting. It was in Tuesday.
It would have been a Tuesday lesson.
Yeah. From that day, I remember, I've been fasting for, I think, 4 days, 3 days.
May Allah Ta'ala reward you. Just min bab al-nasiha,
practice it, akhi.
That's excellent. That's fantastic. And this is the whole point of these lessons. We should be trying to نتعود أجسامنا على الصيام. لا شك. We should be trying to allow our bodies to become accustomed to fasting. But min bab al-nasiha, anytime anybody does a good deed, anytime any one of us does a good deed, the deed is more likely to be closer to ikhlas. I said more likely. I never said that if a person mentioned these good deeds, it's not going to be. I'm not saying that. But if a person doesn't speak about the optional good deeds that they choose to do, it's better. No.
I spoke about it because maybe I was trying to tell people.
And that's excellent.
Inspire people.
Akhi, that's fantastic because we got dalil from the Sunnah, which also goes to show some of the companions used to do this. When the Prophet ﷺ would ask a question, who did this today? Somebody come, I did it. Were the companions showing off? La, hashilillah, that we would think the companions would be ashab al-riya. La. And I'm not saying that you are. It was a reminder for myself. We got people obviously listening, and there might be other brothers might think, okay, can I start saying that? I prayed tahajjud last night. I gave such. People might get carried away. You with me? But inshallah ta'ala, Allah, as'al Allah tabarak ta'ala, yataqabbala minka.
Who encourages the person to a good deed, he gets the reward for that as well. So
Mumtaz.
inshallah, he's encouraging the brothers to fast, that he'll get the reward for their fast as well, inshallah.
You see that, akhi? Inshallah ta'ala, hopefully anybody that fasts now before the blessed month of Ramadan, laka ajr, inshallah. Sami,
I have 2 questions.
you can have 3 if you want. I'll answer as many as I can by Allah's permission.
So the first one is, what does the when you said that the reward is for Allah, what does that mean? Like, because you said in the hadith. So the difference between the reward for yourself and the reward for Allah.
Okay, it's not a reward for yourself and a reward for Allah. It's that any deed that the Muslim does, it's potentially multiplied from 10 to 700 times. Whilst that's a humongous reward to get a deed multiplied up to 700 times, nonetheless it's still muqayyid. It's still between this and this. But as it relates to Psalm, when Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala يقول فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به, then there's no restriction. Allah never placed a number on it. He didn't even say times up to 1,000,000 times or 1,000,000,000 times. So the mind can't fathom what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala can potentially give to the one that yasum. Does that make sense? So that's the difference. If you pray, you hajj, you do any of these other deeds, there's a specific reward for these. We know. Somebody performs an accepted hajj, his reward is Jannah. From one umrah to one umrah, from one jum'ah to one jum'ah, is forgiveness for your minor sins. Alright? As it relates for Psalm, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. There's no restriction on it.
I think, did you say that the reward, what's the difference between the reward is for that person and the reward is for Allah?
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake because it doesn't say the reward is for Allah, does it?
No, that's why I corrected him. It's not that Allah gets a reward. La, Allah doesn't get a reward. Allah says, كل عمل بني آدم له إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. Meaning that any action that you do, right? Yes, a Muslim prays and fasts and stuff, and to the best of his ability, he tries to be sincere to Allah Ta'ala. But there's always that fear of the action being or involving minor shirk, because he's either showing off. Alright? But as it relates to Psalm, the true Psalm I'm talking about, not somebody that just says I'm fasting, the true Sa'im, then his reward is not restricted to any particular between any numbers, and Allah Ta'ala knows best. Second question?
So it's just more of a general question. So you know the hadith Qudsi. So it refers to what Allah says. So how come that like what Allah says there is not in the Quran? How come it's in the hadith?
Jade. There's different. A hadith is split into different categories and different types. You got those ahadith that are sahiha, ahadith that are hasana, ahadith that are da'ifa, wa. And from the types of ahadith that we have are those ahadith al-Qudsiyya, wherein the words are the words of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, but the meaning is from Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. And there are fundamental differences between, I said that right? Because I know whenever I give this definition, you always, mashallah, Mafi, but so far, gee. No, I'm not even, I don't know. But yeah, there are fundamental differences between Al-Quran wa Al-Ahadith Al-Qudsiyya. Al-Quran, as I mentioned, من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى فله به حسنة. Anybody that reads a single letter, you get a hasana up to 10 times. That's not, you don't get that same concession with a hadith al-Qudsiyya. If you read a hadith Qudsi like I read now, there's nothing to say for every letter I read in this hadith, I get a reward up to 10 times. More importantly, I should have mentioned this first, you cannot pray with a hadith Qudsi. After reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, after reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, you can't go on to start saying, قال الله تعالى كل عمل بني آدم. لا. You know, and there are other differences as well, but they're the main ones. Was that 2 questions?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Then?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح.
الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آتي محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعده. بسم الله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. إخواني شوف, it's so important to have good companions in the religion. Wallahi, it's so important to have good companions, and the benefits are many. And from those benefits of having good companions is when a person makes a mistake, no matter who that person is, they have people that love them lillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala that will come and say to that person, أخي أنت أخطأت أو أخي أنت ظلمت فلانا أو ما أشبه ذلك. You've made a mistake, you've oppressed so and so, or anything similar. So while I was speaking, and sometimes it happens to me a lot, I'm still young, I just graduated recently, I'm gonna make mistakes. And in expressing when a person has the opportunity to disobey Allah and then they don't disobey Allah, being sincere to Him when nobody's around, I said an expression that, barakallahu fihi, one of my brothers corrected me, and that was, I don't want to let Allah down. That indicates that what you do will make Allah, or get Allah happy, or make Him sad. وَلِيَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ هَذَا الْكَلَامِ. So I'm going to take this opportunity to make an istighfar and a tawbah that was a mistake, and I shouldn't have said that. But the intended meaning was, you've got the opportunity to disobey. You don't want to let yourself down by disobeying Allah. Maybe that's a bit more acceptable, inshallah ta'ala. Guys, the lessons go so quickly when I come here. I haven't even got off the first page. So I'm going to continue reading quickly, inshallah ta'ala. Shaykh Muhammad, rahimahullah ta'ala, he goes on to say, وَهَذَا الْحَدِيثُ الْجَلِيلُ يَدُلُّ عَلَى فَضِيلَةِ الصَّوْمِ مِنْ وُجُوهِ عَدِيدًا. And this tremendous hadith indicates the virtue of fasting. What hadith am I talking about, guys? Hadith Qudsi Mumtaz. From many, many different angles. It indicates the virtue of fasting from many angles. Number one, al-awwal, أن الله تبارك وتعالى اختص لنفسه الصوم من بين سائر الأعمال. Allah تبارك وتعالى, He exclusively chose for Himself the fast out of all of the other acts of worship that are tremendous. As-salah, wal-hajj, wal-zakat. Alright? He chose as-sawm for Himself تبارك وتعالى. وذلك لشرفه عنده. And that is due to the honorable and the lofty status with Allah تبارك وتعالى. ومحبته له وظهور الإخلاص له سبحانه فيه. And due to how much Allah loves this action, and the apparentness, as I mentioned before, of somebody being sincere to Him تبارك وتعالى during the fast. And guys, this has to be understood. This has to be understood. The one that's carrying out the true fast in Al-Islam. Not the one that says Ana Sa'im, but the one that is carrying out the true fast in Al-Islam. Why is this action so beloved to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? لِأَنَّهُ سِرٌّ بَيْنَ الْعَبْدِ وَبَيْنَ رَبِّهِ. Because it is a secret act of worship between the servant and his Lord. لَا يَطَّلِعُ عَلَيْهِ إِلَّا اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. Nobody is watching this individual except Allah. And I mean when this person's in khalwa, when he's by himself. Nobody can see him except Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. This is why, Sami, this action is so beloved to Allah. فإن الصائم يكون في موضع الخالي من الناس متمكنا من تناول ما حرم الله تبارك وتعالى عليهم بالصيام فلا يتناوله. Allahu Akbar. Kalam Jameel. He says that because the fasting person, he is almost in a secluded place, if you like, when he is fasting from the people, and he is able to break his fast, however, and do that which Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala makes haram upon him, but he doesn't do it. لأنه يعلم أن له ربا يطلع عليه في خلوته. Allahu Akbar. Because this person knows and understands that he has a Lord, and this Lord sees him in his seclusion. وقد حرم عليه ذلك فيتركه. And it could be that Allah